You have Wrocław and you have Krakow. Those are two of the most beautiful cities that I've mentioned that I think are among the most beautiful. Both are very old, more than 1,000 years old. Haven't been destroyed by the war. A lot of cities like Warsaw, downtown, the old town, are less than 50 years old, or around 50 years old, because they were completely leveled. And so it's really nice to be able to have these cities that have so much culture and that have survived that long. I mean, Krakow was a gateway to Western Europe for a long time. That was the main city you'd go through as you're coming from anywhere else in Europe, going to the West. So to have that survive is really unique. And during World War II, when Hitler and his troops came in, the first thing he did is he took back the Rhineland. He took back, well, the Rhineland's actually over farther west, but he took back a lot of land that he claims was German, was Prussia, and that included Wrocław. And so since he just annexed that and put it back into his own country, he decided not to level those cities. So he kept them intact and kept it as his own personal city. In fact, in Wrocław, you have an Olympic stadium that's set up and built there that was going to be used for the Olympics that eventually were held in Berlin. They were initially going to be held in Wrocław, and then Hitler decided to move them to Berlin later on. But just a lot of things there where, because of, I guess, his love for that area and wanting to keep it for himself, he didn't destroy it initially, and they didn't expect at all to have the advancing troops come that far and just basically sweep them out of the country. So that took them by surprise later on, and they were able to keep that city intact. Krakow is interesting because it's a lot closer to where the fighting was on the Eastern Front with the Russians. And so it's got a lot of beautiful castles, cathedrals, just artistic things that are over 1,000 years old. And he had placed explosives, Hitler and his troops, underneath all of these areas. He'd kept them as his personal, little resort town where he had his own castle and things like that. But he'd placed explosives where the goal was, if they were going to be taken by the opposing troops, he'd just level the city. And again, there'd be another Polish city lost. And thankfully, they got a little bit too comfortable down there as well. And the advancing troops from Russia, when they did come in, they fought them out so quickly that they weren't able to detonate or destroy the city. And so those explosives and things were found. They were able to be carefully removed. And so the city was preserved, even though it was Hitler's intention to destroy and level the city. And so there's a lot of things where Poles look at it as like miracles, that their cities and their places that are sacred to them, that are important to their national history, have survived almost just by chance, as it were. But they often feel like it was a lot more than that.